The NASCAR 21 Ignition review. Oh boy, it's gonna be a long video. How's everyone doing? Let's get right into it, guys. Obviously, you know, I review all the NASCAR games. I think I gave NASCAR Heat 5 like a 6 or a 7. I really don't remember at all. But we'll talk about NASCAR Heat, or not Heat, NASCAR Ignition, or NASCAR 21 Ignition. I'm losing my mind. NASCAR 21 Ignition, we'll talk about it. As you can tell by the title of the video, should you buy it? I will give you guys my honest impressions of everything, positive, negative, bigger picture. And obviously, I think we have to talk about the bigger picture before we get into the positive and negatives. Grab your popcorn. We got a lot of talking to do. Right off the bat, one thing I do want to say, and you probably will see a lot of like me on this video instead of gameplay because, well, there's a ton of gameplay on my channel. We'll throw gameplay in the video sometimes during the editing process, but you're mostly going to see me. And it's because we do have a lot to talk about bigger picture-wise. And so here's what I mean by this. There was a game that I played last year named Cyberpunk 2077. I was very hyped up for it, as was the world. It's made by CD Projekt Red, one of the best developers in gaming, and we were all very excited for it. And I played it on launch day, as did so many other people, and it was the buggiest, worst experience I've had in gaming by far. Probably because expectations were very high, but just the actual game was an unfinished, buggy mess. The game crashed on me like every 20 minutes. I was very, very annoyed and just really upset about it. Does NASCAR 21 Ignition go into that kind of category? Not for me, at least. And I want to point out that I did all of my gameplay on PC, which seems to be smoother than what's going on in consoles. I don't have any experience right now playing on consoles, so I can't give you guys the right like feedback there. But from what I'm seeing on social media, consoles definitely have more bugs than PC, which was the same exact situation that Cyberpunk had, where consoles were an absolute mess and PC was still a mess, but it wasn't as bad. Do I think NASCAR 21 Ignition is as bad as Cyberpunk at launch? No, I don't. It's not as buggy as that, but it's buggy. Which leads me into this. The reason why Cyberpunk released in its current state is because the executives just wanted to release it in the Christmas time during that year to make the money. And for Motorsport Games, I want to reiterate and point out that that's not the case with Motorsport Games. They didn't just release a game completely unfinished because they wanted your money. That's not how it worked. With Motorsport Games, I have sympathy for them, and I think you guys should too, because there's a contract. There's a contract under these sports games. We get Madden every year. We get FIFA every year. We get NBA 2K every year. Every single year, you play Madden and FIFA and 2K. Every year at launch, the games usually have issues, bugs all the time. This is becoming a very large problem in gaming, where we are always releasing unfinished products. And I don't know how we got here, but it's because it generates a lot of revenue. I don't blame Motorsport Games for releasing an unfinished product. I blame the contract with NASCAR. You guys have to understand that Motorsport Games is in a yearly contract all the way through 2029, where to keep the license with NASCAR to make the official NASCAR game, they have to release a game every year. NASCAR Heat 5 came out in 2020. NASCAR 21 Ignition comes out in 2021. They did as much as they could by releasing a copy and paste NASCAR Heat 5 in July of 2020 to try and work on 21 Ignition, which was built from the ground up on a completely different engine, and everything was completely different, building a brand new game within the 2-year span with a brand new company, and they had to release it in 2021 because it is under the contract with NASCAR. And obviously, I had a feeling in the back of my mind. I was like, this game's coming out in October. This game's coming out when the NASCAR season ends the week after. Doesn't that raise a red flag? I thought about it, but because I'm 24 years old now and I'm enjoying my life, I was like, you know what, let's stay optimistic. Let's not think about that. But I thought about it. I was like, this game's coming out very late, and it really can't come out any later. That was a red flag that I decided to, I thought about, but I didn't really share with you guys because I was like, you know, let's be optimistic. Why the bugs that we see so far in the game that we will touch on later in this video? It's just, and why I would not get mad about it. I've seen people getting mad and bashing the game who haven't even played it yet. Guys, you can get mad about things in life. What makes me mad is seeing a NASCAR stock car at 550 horsepower going full throttle around intermediate racetracks and no racing whatsoever. That's what makes me mad, okay? I get actually angry about that. Will I get mad about a game being a buggy mess at launch and not living up to expectations that I wanted? No, I'm not going to get mad because I've seen it all before, and I know the intentions are right. Unfortunately, when it comes to legality and contract issues, you guys have to understand this is the real world. And as you get older and understand the gaming industry, the real world shows that it's not all bright and pretty in a lot of ways. And under contract situations, they had to release a game, and this is what we got. So if you want to get mad about it and, you know, throw your toys out the pram and be a baby about it, go ahead. You know, that's up to you. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But once you actually look at why these things are happening, you know, take it how you will. I'm not going to tell you guys how to react. I'm just giving you guys the information. That's the situation. It just is what it is. You can't delay the game any further. You can't release it next year. You can't not release the game because then you lose the licensing. So if you're running the company, you would do the same exact thing. Just letting you know. With that out of the way, let's talk about NASCAR 21 as a game. We're going to talk about positives, and we're going to talk about negatives. I'll throw some gameplay in as well. Positives. The graphics. That's the main positive. The game is beautiful, especially on PC. You can run it at 120 frames, you can run it at 60 frames, or you can run it uncapped. For recording purposes, I would definitely recommend running it at 60 frames. But if you're not recording and you just want to have the best experience possible and you have a powerful PC, you can uncap the frame rate and you can hit 240 if your PC is powerful enough. So you can have as smooth experience as possible on PC. On consoles at the current moment, I think it is locked at 30, which is obviously not ideal. There should be a next-gen boost that will bump it up to 60 frames on PS5 and Xbox Series X, which is where you would be wanting to play the majority of racing games. The detail is very immense. Garage areas are all on point, like to a T. Every track is very, very detailed, and it's visually, graphically, you know, texture-wise, everything's really, I have no complaints. It looks like a AAA game. Another positive would be the physics. Physics compared to NASCAR 85 are way better, especially when you're able to get to work. Road courses and short tracks are where the game shines, definitely. A lot of off-throttle time, a lot of babying the throttle off corners, and it works to a T. Contact with the AI works as well. You can't really just run into them, because if you do, you will lose your rear end grip. And I would definitely recommend playing this game with a wheel in its current state, because it turns off steering assist and you're really able to feel the car everywhere, and it is very good driving wise. You can definitely feel the physics underneath there. It's good. It's good. There's a lot of bugs that we'll talk about here in a second when it comes to negatives, but when you can actually feel the physics, I very, very much enjoy it. The speeds are right at the majority of tracks. The car feels right on elevation tracks like Sonoma as well. It doesn't feel wrong in any way. Driving the car definitely is a lot of fun when you can drive it. And another positive would be within the career mode. Stats are crazy. We have driver values, we have stats, we have team ratings, driver ratings. There's a lot of stuff that's in there that you could see what they're trying to build on. So I would say that's positive as well. Presentation. I would say presentation is a positive. We have pre-race intros for practice, qualifying, and the race, brought to you by Alex Hayden. He has a intro for every practice session at every track and event. He has a intro for every qualifying at every track and every event, and he has an intro for every race, so at every track. So that's very good. And you have the national anthem, you have flyovers. It will get a little repetitive to an extent, but it's better than what the Heat series had. Drivers are scanned. Some of them are good, some of them are not. Ryan Blaney looks really, really weird, but Brad Keselowski looks really good. So I don't really know how that worked. And I would say the final positive is it's a NASCAR game. It covers everything that NASCAR should. It has every licensed track. It has all the cars. You can get a NASCAR experience. Some of the racing with the AI is definitely good. The AI are not terrible. They are pretty good. It depends on the track that you go to. I had a lot of fun with them at road courses and at Martinsville, but when I go to like Kansas and the intermediate stuff, they check up in certain spots. So it depends on the track you go to. It's very iffy on where you go. And the online I would throw as a positive if you can race with the right people, which is common in terms of most racing games. If you can get with the right people, you can have fun. But as is F1 and Forza and Gran Turismo and every other racing game I've ever played, usually online is kind of hectic when you can't get with the right people.
Get a 5 wide, Chatty, 5 wide on the backtrack. Mr. Dude White. Oh my God, Chatty. Oh my God. I'm in the wall. I'm in the wall. I'm in the launcher.
Oh,
Oh my god!
Now let's get to the negatives. We're gonna be here a while. The main negative is that the game is unfinished. So we're gonna talk about all the bugs that I know of, that I have experienced, that we need to fix. Now, so we're also gonna talk about that. So the positives we just talked about are all true. Presentation, graphics, physics, all good. I thought that's what was gonna carry the game. I was like, I said before, if the physics are good and the graphics are well and the car drives well and the AI are good, it's gonna be a great game. That's true, but the problem is there's a lot of bugs. So we're gonna talk about the ones that bother me the absolute most, and it's steering assist and cautions. If you play this game on a controller, you cannot turn off steering assist in its current state. Remember, the date is October 27th. It just launched yesterday. In its current state, you cannot turn off steering assist. There was one video I saw from a subscriber that sent me that he could turn it off, but that's the only, it must be a weird bug or something, because you cannot turn it off on controller. I would recommend to you guys, if you are playing this game, to put the steering assist on medium if you're using controller. If there is any way you have a wheel and you can run the game with a wheel, I would definitely recommend that. But on controller at the moment, you just can't feel the physics. I say it's a positive because I can feel them. But if on controller, you can't feel them because steering assist is on and it literally drives the car for you, which is very, very annoying, and you cannot turn it off. Cautions. Cautions don't come out. Hold on. All right, there we go. Caution. Caution, 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 caution. He's look, that's a caution. That's a caution. Come on, yellow, 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 yellow. Bring out the yellow, 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 bring out the yellow. Where's the caution?
Gonna cry?
It's just that simple. They don't come out. Sometimes they will after a massive pile up, but they don't work. Cautions do not work at all. And these are things that are they're just basic fundamentals of NASCAR. Basic fundamentals of NASCAR that don't work. Black flags don't work. You go below the line at all at any track, and it'll say it gives you a drive-through penalty, but you can just ignore it because you can't do a drive-through penalty. If you go in pit road, you're gonna stop. You're not gonna do a drive-through. So the game has black flags, and it will give you a black flag, but you never have to listen to it, and you also can never serve it. So they essentially don't work. The basic fundamentals of the game, I repeat: mirror, track map, tire wear, fuel consumption. That stuff, there's no indicator for. There's no mirror, so it really affects how you race. If you want to race in a cockpit or you want to race in a hood view, you're relying on your spotter. And the spotter is the most annoying spotter I've ever played in a console game. It is very, very annoying. It glitches. It's wrong half the time. It says you're 3 wide when you're not 3 wide. It says you're clear when you're not clear. It really needs to be fixed. Got one right. Hopefully I can clear. They say I'm clear. No, car right. You said I was clear. You said I was clear, you piece of shit. All right, calm down. Calm down. But most importantly, man, we need that mirror. The mirror is essential. I don't know the reasoning why the mirror is not in the game. That has to be in the game. Track map, I can get away with that. I know the track, so I don't necessarily need it, but it would be nice to have. A tire wear and a fuel indicator. That's very important because tire wear is in the game, guys. That's actually another positive. Let's throw that back to the positive side. Tire wear is in the game. I had 2.5 to 3 second fall off at Homestead. It's in the game. Problem is, I can't see if I have damage. I can't see what my tire wear is. I can't tell tire temps, anything like that. I don't know. And for fuel, the only thing that you can see fuel-wise is there's an indicator on the bottom right of the screen, but you don't know how much fuel you have. You have no idea when you should pit. Your spotter will tell you to pit when you don't have to pit. And yeah, it's not good. And on the multiplayer side of things, there's no ghosting of any sort. So if someone's trolling and someone wants to go backwards or someone wants to wreck you, they don't ghost. In most racing games now, if they're doing something wrong or they're stopped, they will ghost, so you don't have to, deal with them. But in this game, they don't ghost. So that's why online's a chaotic mess. And like I said, if you can't race with the guys that you want to race with, which leads into private lobbies. Private lobbies are not in the game, which is very, very annoying. You have essentially a Mario Kart style multiplayer where you get into a lobby. You can pick either intermediate and super speedways or short tracks and road courses. and then you just kind of go through there. You vote on tracks, and you go in there. You can get a party of your friends in there, but you can't race just with your friends. You have to race in these lobbies, in these servers, and it just doesn't make it fun. Because if for league racing, guys, in this current state, you cannot do it because you can't make a private session. You cannot get the people that you want in, so you can't league race. So the league racing scene right now, in this current moment, is completely gone. I don't know when it will come back, if it will come back in a patch, but at the moment you cannot do private lobbies, so league racing is done. That's a massive negative. And online is just kind of like, if you can find the right people, fine, but if not, it's a mess. The bugs, oh my god, the bugs, Lord have mercy. I don't even know where to start. Stages are not in the game. The cautions, like I said, don't come out. Pit road is a mess. Pit road, if a caution does come out, yeah, the pit stops are all a mess. It stops the game. The AI are a mess. The AI will pit after the first lap. So if you have a caution on the restart, the AI will then come down pit road the lap after the caution. The replays are bugged because essentially every time you get to the end of a race, whatever damage you have on any car carries over to the replay system. So if you on lap 1 of the replay system, if all your cars were damaged in the race, then they have damage in the replay system. Driver ratings are a mess because Michael McDowell has a 99 super speedway rating while Denny Hamlin has a 59, which makes no sense. And driver ratings in a whole just don't make sense. The game crashing. I have not had this experience a lot. I've had a few instances. For example, at Kansas, I couldn't practice. The game would crash over and over. But that's the only time the game would crash on me. And I think one time during a race. It seems like it's much worse on console, which is the same situation that Cyberpunk had. On console, it seems like crashing is inevitable. You guys are crashing a lot, and you're going through the track and stuff like that. It's very weird. There's a weird lag with AI and stuff. I don't know. That stuff, again, I haven't experienced it, but crashing is bad. And there are just more bugs that, I mean, my brain hurts just trying to think about it. There are just a lot of bugs, guys. If you think something's going right, it ain't, and then it might not go right. Your car might spawn in with damage. In victory lane, you might have a different driver. it's a little bit crazy. Oh, this is a big one. There's no control. There's no controller guide. There's no, in the settings, you cannot view the buttons for your controller. Like, how does this change your camera or something else? And on the wheels, it's not mapped. The wheels on the button, or the buttons on the wheel, are not mapped at all. So you cannot use the buttons on your wheel to change the camera, to look back. You have to use your keyboard. So you have to take your hand off the wheel, and you have to use the keyboard, and it doesn't. It's very annoying. So yeah, that's another negative and another bug. I did forget one positive, the garage areas and driving out of the garage and being able to drive in the garage. It's very cool. Very cool. Very good aspect of the game. So gotta put that in the positives. But yeah, guys, that's really all I can think about right now. There's a lot more. Like, braking markers at road courses are non-existent, so you have to figure out where to brake, where in real life there are braking markers. So that would be nice if they could put in, because everything in the game visually is nice, but they forgot braking markers. So it's very hard to figure out where to brake, like your first go around, if you really don't know. And yeah, so it's a buggy mess. That's what I can say NASCAR 21 Ignition is. It's a buggy mess. There are definitely positives in there, guys. There's a lot of positives. Like I said, it plays well, it drives really well, and it looks really good. You would think that would be fine, but the actual base of the game in its current state is very buggy. I would like to point out that there already is a second patch in review for PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. So either late next week, or late this week, or early next week, we should have that patch come live, and we will see what that does in terms of, will cautions actually work now? Will stages be in the game? There have been guys like Drive-Thru, which is Davin. He's on Twitter and on Twitch. He's been going through the code of the game, and you can see that stages are coded in the game. You can see that playoffs are coded in the game and all that stuff. And there are things in there like being able to control your car at all times. That's coded into the game, but they kind of turned them off because they might not work or whatever. So it all goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video. It released in an unfinished state. There are way too many things that have to be fixed or patched or just make them work correctly for the game to really feel satisfactory. At the current moment, should you buy it? If you are a hardcore, and I mean die-hard, NASCAR fan, I think you will have fun with this game in spurts, and you will, and actually, I would say more than not, you will have fun with this game, especially in the driving sense. If you just like making laps, you're definitely going to like it. If you have a wheel and it's compatible, you're definitely going to like it. So if you're die hard and you want to buy it today, I could recommend it for you. I could say you can buy it. For everyone else, for the not super die hard fan, for the casual fan, or for someone that has iRacing and you use iRacing a lot, but you want to chill and you want to sit back and you want to relax and you want to play a console game, I would have to recommend waiting a little bit. At least follow my channel. I will update you guys on when every patch comes out. We'll go through every patch detail. I'll play the game more. We'll see what the patches fix. But in this current state, on October 27th, when the game is launched, I can't recommend you buying it at a $60 price. Could I recommend you buying it on, Black Friday or like in the holidays, where maybe the price drops to $30 or $40? Yeah, I could see, especially because patches will come in. So once patches come in and then maybe the price drops, I can definitely see you buying it there. If you're a casual, that's what I would recommend. If you're buying it for your kid and your kid really wants to play a NASCAR game and you need to get him a Christmas present, I would wait till that Christmas time. I would wait till the patches come in and I'll buy it for your kid then. That's what I would recommend. But if you're not a diehard fan, I don't really see how you can overcome the bugs and just the fundamental issues. Not having a mirror, the caution's not working, the steering assist not letting you drive the car with a controller. Mostly everyone plays this game with a controller, so that genuinely has to be fixed right away. It's that kind of stuff that has to be fixed. I forgot one more positive, the paint booth. I know that's their main marketing feature. Guys, the paint booth is very good. I just forgot about it because I'm not a creative person when it comes to the paint booth, so I can't use it a lot. But if you guys know how to use paint booths and stuff, you can make a ton of different cars. It's definitely very good. So yeah, that's definitely a positive if you want to mess around and make different cars. In the end, guys, if I had to give this game a rating, this is where it gets a little bit tough. I can't give it anything higher than a 5 out of 10. And I'm leaning more towards like a 4.5 in its current state. The 5 points generally come from the 5 positives I mentioned earlier. And they're big positives. Graphics, physics, all that stuff. The AI are not terrible. They're pretty decent. AI contact, the physics, how you make contact with another car definitely is good. And everything there is good. So that's where the 5 points come from. The other 5 points come from all the negatives and how the game crashes a lot and it doesn't really work and the main fundamentals. So I can't give it much higher than a 5. That's the highest I can give it, which is lower than NASCAR Heat 5, and I think that is right because NASCAR Heat 5 is the 5th game in that series of games. NASCAR 21 Ignition is the 1st game in this series of games. NASCAR Heat Evolution, which was the 1st game in the NASCAR Heat series, was the worst game I've ever played. By far. Nothing comes close to that. This game is miles better than NASCAR Heat Evolution, but if we're comparing it to the last game of the last series, it's not there. It's not to that point. I think you could have more... NASCAR Heat 5 is just a more polished game. There's not as many bugs there at all. But oddly enough, the driving is better in this game, but it's so buggy. So that's 5 out of 10 is the most I can give it. If you're die hard, I can say you can buy it at the full price, but other than that, I would wait for patches. I would wait for maybe a price drop, and that's what I would recommend for you guys. Obviously, as every patch comes in, I will be playing the game. So I'll try to keep you guys updated. All the gameplay videos are on the channel already from the past week if you want to watch my experiences. I have had a better experience than most people. I can see from my gameplay and my videos compared to other content creators and other people just uploading their videos on Twitter, I can definitely see that I've had better experiences. So maybe I've gotten a little bit lucky, but it is what it is. I'm just saying so that's why I give it a 5. Bordering 4.5, which, to be honest, it's not very good. So that's my review, guys. Thank you so much for the support as always. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the Patreon members. Thank you for commenting and for watching the gameplay and for understanding. Obviously, I'm not going to come out and just downright bash this game and do a NASCAR Heat Evolution rant, because that's just not me anymore. And it's not as bad as NASCAR Heat Evolution. It really isn't. I think there's a lot of overreactions on the bugs and stuff. So 5 out of 10. And I'm giving you guys my honest opinions. So there you go. That's it. I will see you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you understand where I'm coming from, and you can make a decision on your own. You've seen the gameplay. You've seen my review. You've seen other people's reviews. And now it's up to you. If you want to spend money on it, if you don't, if you want to buy it for a kid, if you don't, you know, if you just want to have fun with your friends, I would probably wait for private lobbies, because that's something very important. So yeah, that's it. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you're not already. Subscribe if you're new. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.